Now, let me warn you right now up front. This is not a news update. This right here is a chain reaction because what's happening in Minnesota right now didn't start with protests. It didn't start with ICE, and it for sure didn't start with Trump. It started with decisions, cover stories, and panic. And now you're about to watch what happens when consequences finally show up unannounced.
Person familiar tells me that Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and the Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey are both being investigated by the Justice Department. And a grand jury has issued subpoenas for both of them, though it doesn't appear that either have been served yet. What we do know tonight as we come on the air is that the Justice Department investigation centers on possible obstruction of federal law enforcement. Both the FBI Director Cashapp and the Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche were in Minneapolis today. And just a short time ago, Todd Blanche was on Fox News explaining or attempting to explain why the Justice Department is taking this action.
When the governor or the mayor threaten our officers, when the mayor suggests that he's encouraging citizens to call 911 when they see ICE officers, that is very close to a federal crime.
Person familiar tells me that Minnesota Governor Tim Walz.
So CNN reports DOJ subpoenas for Tim Walz and Mayor Frey. Yeah, we knew that. We're not going to act like we didn't know that part. But here's the part that the left and these Democrats, they keep skipping. This isn't a rumor anymore. This isn't like social media noise. This is a federal grand jury issuing subpoenas. That only happens when Washington stop asking questions, all right, and they start collecting receipts. Notice the tone on CNN, though. You know, she wished she can hide it, but she said, "This is moving fast." It's time for me to translate that for y'all. Let me translate. Someone in Minnesota crossed the line that they can't walk back from. That's what that means. So the real question becomes, why now? Because, you know, when law changes, the panic always comes before the explanation.
This law would just provide that is a basis to denaturalize, take away your citizenship, and ship you back. And part of this is because I've got a representative in Minnesota, Ilhan Omar, who likes to go on national programs and play the victim. Yet the same representative goes to the University of Minnesota campus and in reality encourages violence against Jewish students, and she says, hey, we're citizens, there's nothing you can do about it. Well, guess what? There is something that we should be able to do about it. You should not be allowed to come to this country, take advantage of the generosity of Americans and the American government, and get away with it. If you commit fraud, you should be denaturalized and shipped back.
I know that's right.
This law would just provide...
I know that's right. Oh, my guy over here was going hard. Tom Emmer. Just in, Rep. Tom Emmer confirms even the legal Somalis, including Ilhan Omar, are eligible for deportation. Under the law he just proposed. Ilhan Omar likes to play victim. She says we're citizens. I ain't gonna read the quotes that he said, but y'all was listening carefully to what was happening right there, right? If you wasn't, she got your boy. This isn't about feelings anymore, yo. Well, it never really was. But this isn't about rhetoric. This is about closing loopholes. For years, the left sold this idea that once citizenship paperwork clears that, you know, you're somehow untouchable. But Tom Emmer, you just said the quiet part out loud. If it's fraud, hey, that voiced the deal, my boy. Sorry, I thought you. Really am not. And once that door closed, everything behind it becomes fair game. Which leads us to the question they never want you asking, which is what fraud? And that's when the money shows up.
Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison has charged a man with defrauding Minnesota state programs to the tune of $3.2 million. 57-year-old Mohammed Abdi Rashid Omar Zeed faces 8 counts of theft by false representation in Hennepin County Court. According to the criminal complaint, Omar Zeed's company, Guardian Home Health Services, submitted over 40,000 fraudulent claims for personal care assistance or PCA services over a 4-year span. It's not just alleged PCA fraud. The AG's Medicaid Fraud Control Unit also found evidence of Guardian defrauding several other programs that the state has now identified as high risk for fraud. The criminal complaint says the workers have admitted submitting fake timesheets. Another worker reported her name being used on a timesheet for work she never performed. And when the office was being searched, another office worker pulled the power cord from his computer to prevent investigators from seeing the screen. The Minnesota Department of Human Services finally shut down Guardian's license in July 2025. Omar Zeed is scheduled to be in court next month. I'm Lou Bergoose. Follow for more news.
40,000 false claims. That's let that sink in. Just let that sink in, because that's not a mistake. That's not confusion. That's not systemic bias. That was deliberate. And the most important detail, someone literally tried to pull a plug when investigators walked in. If that don't scream guilty, it's not innocence at all. That's panic. So now we know three things. The money is real. The fraud is documented. And Minnesota leadership did nothing, absolutely nothing to stop it. Which brings us to the next move. You know, when the evidence stacks up, the left doesn't explain, they redirect. So my guy Trump right here is, you know, he's going to be the bookmark, so to speak, in this. He writes, ICE is removing some of the most violent criminals in the world from our country and bring them back home where they belong. Why is Minnesota fighting this? Do they really want murderers and drug dealers to be, how you said it, ensconced? Let me look this up. Hold on, y'all. Okay, so I found a word. Let me see how you pronounce it.
Ensconce.
Ensconce. It says to establish or settle someone in a comfortable, safe place. Okay, let me start over from that sentence. Do you really want murderers and drug dealers to be ensconced in their community? The thugs that are protesting include many highly paid professional agitators and anarchists. Is this really what Minnesota wants? The crooked governor and congresswoman Omar married her brother. Don't mind, because it keeps the focus of attention off the $18 billion plus fraud that has taken place in the state. Don't worry, we're on it. Yeah, my guy Trump said, look, we on that thing, all right? Now, I want you to notice something important here, though, right? Trump isn't starting the fire. We didn't start the fire. Anywho, he ain't starting the fire. He's pointing out the smoke right now. That claim, the claim is simple. The louder the protest, the quieter the audits. ICE becomes the villain, so nobody asks why billions went missing. That's the whole stilo, right? That's not politics. That's strategy. I'm trying to tell y'all. And the reaction to that pressure, you can hear it in her own words. Because trust makes people say things they usually filter.
What was that, Ilhan Omar?
I don't want to curse, but those of us who escaped places like that, the one place where we thought we would never experience this is the U.S. goddamn states. And we should.
So you get on the national stage in your official capacity as a United States representative to Congress, and you disrespect my God and you disrespect my country, and somehow you still want people to take you seriously and listen to anything that you have to say. No, I think what's happened here is that you are absolutely crashing out because the jig is up. And there is nowhere left for you to hide. So my suggestion would be that you pack your bags and you make your way back home to Somalia. Additionally, it is called the United States of America, not whatever nonsense you just said.
Now, this clip is short for a reason. When someone feels cornered, respect is the first thing to go. No policy, no facts, just contempt. And once the mask slips, people start noticing something else. The streets are getting louder too. When leadership loses control at the top, it always shows up at a ground level, y'all. So we have armed counter-protesters right here. According to the Daily Caller, Eric Dahl reporting the Daily Caller picture, I guess. Leftists are now showing up armed in Minneapolis to counter conservatives supporting ICE and opposing radical Islam. Tim Walz and Mayor Frey asked precisely for this. They want violence and riots. What am I reading? I'm just making up stuff. They wanted violence and chaos. They ordered police to stand down. They wanted a conservative to get hurt or even killed. It would only get worse unless Minnesota Democrats call this off. And this is the picture that it comes with. Armed individuals at Minneapolis protests. I scrolled up a little too far, didn't I? This is what stand down policies look like in real life. Not peaceful, not organized, just tension waiting for a spark. And remember, this isn't happening in a vacuum. This is happening while subpoenas are flying and fraud cases are stacking up, which is why the streets start, looking like this. And then it hits everyday people.
You're not gonna move. You are blocking the street.
I don't give a fuck.
You don't give a fuck?
I don't give a fuck.
That's why.
You have to move on.
You have to
I'm not
move.
moving this.
See? Everybody.
I don't care. I'm citizen. I don't give a fuck.
I don't care if you're citizen or not. It's not about citizen. You're blocking the streets.
Go back to your country.
My country, where you from?
Yes.
Where you from?
I'm American.
You're American.
American citizen, of course.
You're why?
I'm born in here. I'm born in here.
So what?
I'm born here.
Don't be ignorant. American
I am here.
is the whole continent.
I'm born
Move.
here. I'm not moving.
Come on.
I'm going to fucking. No.
She's going to go.
I have to go
Brother,
to her.
they got places to go.
I don't care. Go to the street.
You see? That's why people, they get pissed.
I'm born here.
Because you are it too.
I'm born here. I'm United
And
States citizen.
because you're born
I
here,
am not Mexican like you.
I'm proud of being Mexican.
I'm
proud.
You're Somali. You are Mexican. I'm Somali.
Yeah, I'm Mexican.
Me too. I'm Somali.
I'm Mexican, but I respect the rules in this country.
Me too.
You're not.
I respect.
Back up a little bit so she can get. No, I'm not gonna back.
Okay, I can then.
I'm not.
just being here.
I'm not, brother.
So you're blocking here,
and she's blocking over here. You guys, she started all this.
I understand, but
Yeah, but now.
block here and she block here.
Now she
What
gotta
would be the
move.
solution? Would be the
It's
solution.
not, no.
She's a woman, you don't have to. Please.
No, it's about respect. It's not about women or
No,
men.
just move from your beat and back.
No,
It's not something about
no, but.
it's not gonna help you, both of you. You don't. It's not here.
So what? No, my friend. I start to explain her. The sign over there says it was full, so it was no more space for parking.
Now, I want to go ahead and read the caption that comes with this. Oh, my fault, y'all. The Hispanic man argues with a Somali woman who refuses to move her car. I don't have any more context than that, but this is a Minneapolis street argument, not politicians, not pundits. There's two people who were told the same lie, which is the system works. And now they're yelling at each other in the snow. This is what policy failure looks like without makeup. So what happens next? Fear starts thinking long term.
And how much longer do you think this town has until the Muslim community does become the majority?
I'm not an expert, but, if I look at they're averaging 5 children, I think we're only at 2 generations away.
And how many kids are the Christians or the people averaging here?
0. They have more cats and dogs. I hate to say it.
And how many mosques were here just 10 years ago?
Well, I'd say 15 years ago, there was just the one at St. Cloud State University that was a room within the university setting. So it really wasn't an active mosque community. It was more like a prayer room.
So within the past 15 years, 5 mosques have been built here?
Yeah. But then I would challenge you to go and look at the growth of the Somali refugee population, because they're the ones that really put a demand on the desire for Islam. Minnesota took a lot of Somali refugees, and many of them were placed here in St. Cloud. So that immediately inserted, I think, at least 2,000 Muslims that have been here for 20 years.
Well, whether you agree with it or not, this clip answers one question. Why the panic feels different this time? Because this isn't about a protest, it's about trajectory, right? And once people believe the future is slipping away, they stop pretending everything is fine. So, what is going on today? Here's the reality the left can't spin, y'all. You can't block ICE and ignore fraud. You can't shout justice and then unplug computers. And you definitely can't control the narrative once the law shows up early. Minnesota didn't suddenly change. The pressure just arrived all at once. And once the pressure hits, you know the truth. It's going to stop whispering. Now, if you made it all the way through this video today, I want you to write something that we wrote before. I'm not even going to try to be extra creative. Just write receipts. That way I know who actually, watched to the end. Also, it's to inform me, not even the algorithm anymore. Plus, if y'all want to throw 5-6 comments out there just to do it, that's cool, too. No, it's a free country. You can write as many comments as you want. Let me stop playing. Y'all be safe. Go check out a friend today. You can quite literally be saving their life, y'all. Peace.